Greetings Nakama, and welcome to the latest in one of our beloved anime explainer videos. In this Warlord watch list, we return to our One Piece roots and break down another aspect to this amazing series. As always, if you want to see more anime explainers, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. And with that being said, let's get reckless. Be ready, he is about to run wild. He is the strongest man in the world. Over 500 episodes into Ichiro Oda's masterful series serves as a genesis for so much within this series as a whole. And within the confines of this video, our focus is that of the Marineford War. When approaching One Piece, a show now entering 4 digits as far as episode count goes, many may find it hard to believe that within the contents of many episodes of such a wacky seeming series, that such deep, ingenious instances of writing and storytelling can be found. Volume over volume, episode after brilliantly illustrated episode, One Piece is a tome of possible intellectual investigation. From the very beginning of the series, all the way to the liberation of the One Piece equivalent of Japan. For the sake of this explainer, however, we point our gaze directly towards the middle of the series. As dizzying a statement as that sounds, such a vantage point directs the viewer right into the Summit War saga. Up until this point in the story, the readers are lulled into a false sense of security in really how to envision our protagonist. He is a force of nature. And until the kickoff of the Summit War saga, even though we knew there were people stronger than him, the reader didn't fully comprehend how much of a gap there was. Not until we are fully engulfed in the turbulence of the conflict. And at the center of it all stands a captain that truly sets the standard for the title's strongest man in the world. A status I fully expect our beloved protagonist to eventually earn. Because in this title of the strongest man in the world, Edward Newgate, aka Whitebeard, even though he only has a mustache, Gargle laughs his existence into the storyline, thus casting a shadow that is hard to forget. When first brokering the conversation of the strongest man, of course the physical aptitude is both the most obvious and easiest to articulate, and there is no better theater for the performance than the climax of the Summit War saga. While there have been true titans met throughout the early stages of the One Piece story, this is the first time so many major players have convened in one spot, and the ramifications send ripples throughout the entire world. The beauty of Oda, that as the war is being led up to, we meet Whitebeard. But even though he was regaled and sooner proved to be much larger than life, the audience was very lulled with his initial appearance. Yeah, the dude was huge and clashed with our beloved Shanks, but seeing a figure with a breathing tube in his nose and IVs in his arm, a false perception was elicited. At least that is until the opening shots of the Marineford War. In so many tales of fiction, the opening moments of a war initiated in many different fashions. Of course, there's the climactic clash between the two different sides, but the prelude could include opening words and potential exchanges from either side. Upon arriving epically to the platform, opening words were said and parting shots made. In reflecting back to when I first watched Marineford well over a decade ago, I can still feel my head go from amazing to awestruck at the reveal of this man's devil fruit. This dude cracked the space around him. What? And when the waves were so quickly subdued by Aokiji, someone that literally smoked the Straw Hat crew earlier in the series, Whitebeard brushes away an ice paladin spear. This man Kuzan devastated the Straw Hats with an ice sword made of grass, and now his named attacks are getting swatted away. Whitebeard's introduction single-handedly ignited the community as to what could be, and the limits of power and raw strength seen within One Piece. For up until now, we the audience have gradually been understanding how strong the admirals are, how daunting Loki is and the Warlords can be, and also, yeah, giants wrecking house. But all of that pales in comparison, because just as Sengoku said, Whitebeard is the strongest man in the world. But it's not just muscle that he brings to the table in regards to what it means to be the strongest man. I posit there's 3 other attributes that allow for the bolstering of him being able to obtain this title. As connoisseurs of shonen anime, the simple thought of strength elicits so many characters, with few being able to even be able to comprehend the act of forgiving. You can refine your muscles and pump iron to develop those glutes, but what about letting go of the things that don't matter? The physically strong can do outstanding feats, but a truly remarkable act is to let go after being wrong, to forgive, to consciously and deliberately forego feelings of resentment at any type of misgiving. This, I argue, is an even stronger merit to the title. During the War of the Best, we see betrayal happen at the hands of a manipulated pawn. Despite a potential minuscule role in this entire war, the revealing of Ace's lineage allowed for fractures to really form amongst the allies of the Whitebeard crew. But despite this betrayal, Whitebeard doesn't use his might to eradicate the offender. He hugs him, as a father consoling his hurt and frustrated son. He speaks calmly, comforting, with patience and forgiveness. In yet another glimpse at why he is the strongest man. Early in the series of One Piece, and countless times after the events of Marineford, we come to understand what it means to be a captain. Bowing your head when approaching hostile yet earnest people at Drum Island. Taking on the responsibility of an insubordinate crew member in Water 7. Over prior arcs, we have grown to understand the weight of what it means to truly be a captain on these seas. And as the Marineford War sets up to truly reach its climactic ending, in the heat of the battle, Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world, orders his crew to back up another captain. I argue, and forever will, that One Piece is a masterclass of developing characters. The depth placed into each character and the themes that they represent lends itself to some of the most standout character developments and moments I've seen in fiction, period. In terms of monikers within this story, Kaido is one that draws the closest parallels to Whitebeard. While I'm not going to spoil anything for those who haven't gotten further in the story yet, I must point out in this video what it truly means to be the world's strongest man, and in its true essence, what separates man from beast. And in this video, we have laid that very groundwork. Forgiveness, humility, these are aspects of strength that have lent themselves very well to who Whitebeard is as a character, but also what separates man from beast. In the final piece that establishes this defining narrative, their approach to those that depend on them. Again, not to foretell anything that is to come, but the approach between the two and their crews creates a fissure to clearly show the comparison. The love that Whitebeard shows in defending the fleeing crew and allies is wonderfully depicted and comprehended within a minute moment in time, while a monstrous chaotic battle is coming to an end all around them. A second of intimate engagement is possible, allowing for man to be able to ask his son, was our love worth it? Within the story of One Piece, the lessons of life and the individuals written into existence find a way of leaving a lasting impression on your own life. The true power that rests in a story that can stick with you for years and decades after. What type of bond form within the panels and the pages impact your outlook on society, on strength, on family, on what it means to be a man. My Nakama, I uplift this segment of Oda's masterful story, not as a way of enticing you as to what awaits you in the middle, but the reason to enjoy the journey along the way. For it is in those moments we can understand how to make it our own, how we can understand for ourselves how to be the strongest men and women we can be. And within that, what's worth taking on the world for, whether it's riches or for those you love. And that, my Nakama, is one of the many, many reasons why you should watch One Piece. Hey you! Yeah you! The amazing Nakama that made it to the end of our content. Hi! I'm the Dark Briton with the Runaway Warlords, and I'd like to personally say thank you for being able to check out our video. If you like what we have, go ahead and subscribe. That'll really be able to help you out. If you want to check out another video, we have one right here. And also, we have a lovely playlist for you to check out right there.